Picture this. You're sitting there right now, probably supposed to be doing something else, watching YouTube videos about productivity instead of actually being productive. And here's the kicker. Your brain is literally sabotaging you at this very moment, and it thinks it's helping. Welcome to the wild, frustrating, and surprisingly hilarious world of procrastination, where your own mind becomes your biggest enemy in the most sophisticated ways possible. I'm about to blow your mind with what's actually happening upstairs when you choose scrolling through social media over that important project. We're diving deep into the neuroscience behind why you keep showing up late to your own life. And trust me, the answers are way more fascinating than you think. Plus, I'll give you the exact brain-based strategies that actually work to break free from this cycle. But first, let's get real about something. How many times have you told yourself you'll start that thing tomorrow? The gym membership, the side project, calling your mom back, organizing your closet, learning that skill you've been talking about for months. Your brain has turned you into a professional procrastinator. And the crazy part is, it's doing this for reasons that made perfect sense thousands of years ago, but are completely sabotaging you today. Here's what's actually happening in your head when you procrastinate, and why understanding this changes everything. Your brain has three main players in this drama, and they're constantly fighting over who gets to make your decisions. First up is your prefrontal cortex, the CEO of your brain. This is where your logical thinking happens, where you make plans and set goals. It's the part that knows you should really get started on that presentation. Then you've got your limbic system, which is basically your brain's drama queen. This ancient part of your brain is all about immediate feelings and survival instincts. It sees that presentation as a potential threat to your ego and starts screaming danger. Finally, there's your anterior cingulate cortex, which acts like a referee trying to manage the conflict between these two systems. Now, here's where it gets interesting. When you're faced with a task that feels overwhelming or uncertain, your limbic system literally hijacks your brain. It floods your system with stress hormones, and suddenly checking your phone feels like a life-saving activity. Your brain is essentially treating that work project like a saber-toothed tiger, even though the only thing that might die is your deadline. The fascinating part is that procrastination isn't actually about time management or laziness. It's about emotion regulation. Your brain is trying to protect you from negative feelings like anxiety, boredom, or fear of failure. So it offers you the immediate relief of doing something easier and more pleasant instead. It's like having an overprotective parent living in your head who keeps steering you away from anything that might be uncomfortable. But wait, there's more. Your brain also has this thing called temporal discounting, which is just a fancy way of saying you value immediate rewards way more than future benefits. The dopamine hit you get from checking Instagram right now feels more important than the satisfaction you'd get from completing that project next week. Your brain literally devalues future rewards, making them seem less real and less motivating than present pleasures. This is where the addiction aspect kicks in. Every time you choose the easy option over the important one, you're reinforcing a neural pathway. Your brain starts to learn that procrastination equals relief, and before you know it, you're stuck in a cycle where avoidance becomes your default response to any challenge. The plot thickens when we talk about the paradox of choice. Your brain can actually become paralyzed when faced with too many options or when a task seems too complex. Instead of breaking it down, your overwhelmed prefrontal cortex just nopes out of the situation entirely. This is why you can spend 3 hours researching the best productivity app instead of just starting the actual work. Now let's talk about perfectionism, because this is where procrastination gets really sneaky. Your brain sometimes uses procrastination as a protective mechanism against potential failure or criticism. If you don't try your best, then you can't really fail, right? This creates what psychologists call self-handicapping, where procrastination becomes an excuse for subpar performance. The guilt cycle is another fascinating aspect of procrastination neuroscience. When you procrastinate, your brain releases stress hormones that actually make it harder to start the task you're avoiding. Then, you feel guilty about procrastinating, which creates more stress, which makes you want to avoid the task even more. It's like emotional quicksand. The more you struggle, the deeper you sink. But here's the revolutionary part. Once you understand what's happening in your brain, you can actually work with it instead of against it. The key is recognizing that your brain isn't broken. It's just running outdated software that hasn't caught up with modern life. Let me give you the first game-changing strategy, the 2-minute rule. When your brain sees a task as overwhelming, you trick it by committing to just 2 minutes. This bypasses your limbic system's threat detection because 2 minutes doesn't feel dangerous. Often, once you start, momentum carries you forward. Your brain stops seeing the task as a threat and starts releasing dopamine from the progress you're making. Another powerful technique is called temptation bundling. You pair something you need to do with something you enjoy doing. Maybe you only listen to your favorite podcast while doing housework, or you only watch Netflix while on the treadmill. This hijacks your brain's reward system and makes the difficult task more appealing. The environment design approach is absolutely crucial. Your brain is constantly scanning for cues about what behavior to engage in. If your workspace is cluttered with distractions, your brain interprets this as permission to procrastinate. But when you design your environment to support the behavior you want, you're essentially programming your brain for success. Time blocking is another neuroscience-backed strategy that works because it eliminates decision fatigue. When you pre-decide what you're going to do and when, your prefrontal cortex doesn't have to waste energy on constant micro-decisions throughout the day. This leaves more mental energy for actually doing the work. The accountability factor taps into your brain's social wiring. When you tell someone else about your goals, you activate neural pathways related to social bonding and reputation management. Your brain suddenly sees following through as important for maintaining your social standing, which is a powerful motivator that evolved over millions of years. Here's something most people don't realize. Procrastination often stems from unclear goals. Your brain needs specific, concrete targets to work with. When you say you want to get healthier, your brain doesn't know what that means or how to achieve it. But when you say you want to walk for 20 minutes every Tuesday and Thursday at 6 p.m., suddenly your brain has a clear instruction it can follow. The concept of implementation intentions is game-changing here. Instead of just setting goals, you create if-then plans. If it's Tuesday at 6 p.m., then I will put on my walking shoes and go outside. This pre-programs your brain's response to specific situations, reducing the mental effort required to make good choices in the moment. Another crucial insight is understanding your brain's energy patterns. Your willpower actually operates like a muscle that gets tired throughout the day. Most people have the highest mental energy in the morning, so scheduling your most important tasks early takes advantage of your brain's peak performance window. The forgiveness factor is huge too. When you beat yourself up for procrastinating, you're actually making it worse. Self-compassion research shows that people who treat themselves kindly after setbacks bounce back faster and are less likely to repeat the behavior. Your brain responds better to encouragement than punishment. Let's talk about the power of micro-habits. Your brain loves consistency and pattern recognition. When you commit to tiny actions done regularly, you're building neural pathways that make the behavior automatic. Start with something so small it feels almost silly not to do it, like writing 1 sentence per day or doing 1 push-up. The visualization technique works because your brain has trouble distinguishing between imagined and real experiences. When you mentally rehearse completing a task, you're actually strengthening the neural pathways associated with that behavior. Your brain becomes more familiar with success, making it easier to achieve in reality. Progressive overload applies to mental habits just like physical training. You start with manageable challenges and gradually increase the difficulty as your brain adapts. This prevents overwhelm while building your capacity for tackling bigger challenges over time. The key insight that changes everything is this: procrastination isn't a character flaw, it's a skill gap. Once you understand the neuroscience behind it, you can develop specific strategies to work with your brain's natural tendencies instead of fighting against them. Your brain is incredibly adaptable, and every time you choose action over avoidance, you're rewiring yourself for success. The neural pathways that support procrastination can be weakened while strengthening the ones that support productive behavior. It takes time and patience, but the changes can be permanent. The most important thing to remember is that your brain is always trying to help you, even when it doesn't feel that way. It's just using strategies that worked for survival in ancient environments, but don't serve you well in modern life. By understanding this and implementing brain-based strategies, you can finally stop being late to your own life and start showing up as the person you want to be. The journey from chronic procrastination to consistent action isn't about willpower or motivation. It's about understanding your brain and working with it strategically. When you do this right, productivity stops feeling like a battle and starts feeling natural. You're not fighting your brain anymore. You're partnering with it to create the life you actually want. So, if you liked the video and want to learn more about the problems of the human mind, then let me know by subscribing. Bye-bye.